Goody Shellitronnn here. You can call me Shells, and I'm back. Gotta get with a brand new video. And I'm gonna keep it a Bowberry biscuit. Every single PJ Walker truther, I need you to check in. Come on down if you were a PJ Walker truther, and I know which ones y'all were. I need you to answer one simple question for me. Just one very simple question. Why? What made you believe that PJ Walker could be a real quarterback in the NFL? No, I'm not asking why this guy got a shot in the NFL. I believe he should have been able to get a shot in the NFL. I'm asking the people who thought that PJ Walker should be given a shot to be this team's franchise quarterback. I'm talking to those folks who thought when we signed him that he should be given a shot to be the starter for the Panthers this year. I'm asking y'all, at what point in PJ Walker's football career were you convinced that he was a good quarterback? Now, while you think about that and start typing up your messages in the comment box below, let me take you on a very short history of PJ Walker's more recent football endeavors. He spent 4 years at Temple. In his 4 years at Temple University, and I will show you the stats right here, go ahead and point out a single year, one single season where you think he had good numbers. I'm not saying great. I'm not going to go that far. Not even great, not even above average. Tell me which year was good. Tell me which year was acceptable. Tell me which year was even average for a college quarterback. There's like all of 2 or 3 schools in the entire nation who have actual defensive-minded programs, or at least a defense where the whole defense is pretty solid. For the most part, it's just 1 or 2 stars, maybe a 3rd star here and there, but the D as a whole is never ever really good. There's not too many programs in the nation like that. So you see quarterbacks who would never have a shot in the NFL get wild numbers for 4 or maybe 3 years straight in college. PJ Walker racked up not a single 1 year where he even looked decent. Look at these numbers. Only 1 season where he had higher than a 60% completion rate. 60% in the NFL is bad. Like almost cut-worthy. 60% at the college level is borderline Division II. Maybe you have pictures of your coach in a very compromising position and you are blackmailing him into having the starter role for 4 years. He only hit 60% once. Averaged 56.9% completion rate over 4 years as a starter quarterback at a major college. But it goes even deeper. Look at his yard totals. His freshman year, 2,084. His sophomore year, 2,317. His junior year, 2,972. His senior year, 3,295. Only 1 year over 3,000 yards passing. I don't even want to even say his touchdown to interception ratios. These are not good. I don't find anything even remotely impressive. Like, I just can't see it. I just cannot see a single stat that shows me PJ Walker was even decent in college. Let's move on a little further though and talk about what his build is. He's 5'11", so he's a kind of small guy. He's like 210 pounds, so he's kind of light as well. You see a small black quarterback who's kind of light, you start thinking you're at Radio Shack because your mind is racing with all these stereotypes. Small black quarterback, kind of light. Oh, his passing numbers are so low because he was so dominant in the run game. Obviously, right? Okay, we understand there are some quarterbacks who throw a lot. There are some quarterbacks who are dual threat, so we all understand, like, not every quarterback is the same. Like, you can get things done. You can get the job done in different ways. Not every quarterback has to be a statue like a Tom Brady or an Eli Manning. There are different ways to catch these dubs, and you can't sit there and be picky when you're the Carolina Panthers, obviously. So obviously PJ Walker was great in the run game, right? Wrong. Look at these numbers. Freshman year, 90 attempts, 332 yards. When you're a quarterback, your yards per attempt have to be higher than 3.7. That's barely good for a running back. As a quarterback, you have to have higher than, 4.5, maybe even 5, honestly. Because you have more options. You have more space to make plays. You can roll out, and they have to respect your passing game. Well, not if you're PJ Walker. They don't have to. But for most quarterbacks, they have to respect your passing game. So they can't just run straight at you. And it don't get much better from there. Sophomore year, 324 yards total, 3.1 average. Junior year, 215 total yards, 2.7 average. And Lord have mercy on him boy's soul, but I gotta cook this man. Look at this man's rushing totals in his senior year. How do you have 65 rush attempts in total negative 100 yards? You ran the ball 65 times and you had a total? How do you? This is no chance on earth. You never, ever, 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 ever got positive yards. That means in a game, you must have had at least 20 yards rushing. And then a different game, you had minus 40 yards rushing. Like, how do you get negative 100 yards over the span of a 14-game season? Negative 100 yards? Negative 100 yards. I have to ask you again. At what point in PJ Walker's career did you believe he was a good quarterback? Let's move away from college, though. He doesn't get invited to the combine. He goes through his pro day at a 4.74 40. We now understand why those rushing numbers are what they are. Did you believe that PJ Walker, this was his first year out of college? Do you believe that he's never, ever, ever been in an NFL locker room? Been in an NFL QB room, never watched film, never been in a facility with NFL players around him. He never got any kind of fair shake to make an NFL roster. He's been on practice squads in the NFL before this. This is not his first opportunity in the NFL. It wasn't like he just graduated this past year, got his first chance with the Panthers after going to the XFL. He lit up the XFL, which is the WWE of football. It is a joke meme football league. The talent gap between the XFL and the NFL is much wider than the talent gap between the NBA and the WNBA. I would bet Sue Bird would do much better in the NBA right now than this man PJ Walker did in the NFL. I would have so much more faith in WNBA players posting up Braun, posting up Giannis, posting up Cat. Guys who are backup O-linemen or defensive tackles, maybe even return dudes. I know about that. But quarterbacks, there's a reason these guys are playing quarterback in the XFL and the AAF. Y'all know those leagues are way below the NFL, right? Y'all know that lighting up and being the best player in the XFL is literally the bare minimum to just getting a shot in the NFL. And I heard talk about how this man should get a shot to be the franchise quarterback of the Panthers in his one start against the lowly Detroit Lions that I'm sure every single PJ Walker stan would admit they have little to no respect for the Lions defense, right? The Lions team as a whole. Didn't they fire their coach very soon after we played them? How much respect do you have for the Lions defense? That much, huh? PJ Walker throwing 1 touchdown, 2 wild interceptions in the end zone, throwing for 70% passing. That's a good completion percentage. We also saw Teddy Bridgewater have good completion percentages, so that may not be the be-all, end-all of all statistics for quarterbacks, right? And then just this past game against the Saints where he had 22 offensive snaps, 14 attempts, 5 completions to our team, 3 completions to New Orleans Saints players. Stop talking to me about PJ Walker. What? 5 for 14 with 3 interceptions? Come on now, brother. Come on now, brother. I have to ask again, at what point in PJ Walker's career did you start believing he should get a chance to be a franchise quarterback or start in the NFL. Just because Teddy Bridgewater is bad does not mean PJ Walker is better. You got finessed by a guy who was horrible in college, could not make a roster in the NFL, went to a joke meme football league, and lit up a bunch of backups and scrubs. Were you a PJ Walker stan? Were you a believer? Were you a truther about PJ Walker before? How do you feel about him now? Do you think the Panthers will invite him back after this year? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. And you already know what to do with that like button.
Cheers to you, appreciate the chance. Been told y'all I been the man. Been told y'all I had the gift. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Real ones gonna recommend. Count this as another win.